Hi all, welcome to BIAS Academy. We are discussing Chapter 1 Human Values. In this topic, we will discuss the role of family in inculcating values. What are human values? Human values are virtues that take into consideration the human element. Any value that takes into consideration of the human element are called human values. Example, sympathy, empathy, respecting elders, honesty, truthfulness. All these are human values. So now let us go into the topic, the role of family in inculcating values. Right. So let us start with the quote. You don't choose your family, they are God's gift to you and as you are to them. What does it mean? Do you or me or anybody has a choice? Do we have a choice to choose which family we should be born in? Or does the family have a choice to select who should be born in their family? No. We are a gift to our family, right? At the same time, our family is a gift to us. So this quotation is given by Desmond Tutu. You don't choose your family, they are God's gift to you as you are to them. Where do you use it? Whenever there is something related to family, all these things. Okay, now coming to the fundamental question. The topic is role of family in inculcating values. Then, how do we learn values? How does any child or anybody learn values from? What is the process? We learn values, we learn most of the things by or through imitation. They imitate the actions of those whom they admire, right? For example, you admire your father, you imitate your father's characters, or you like your mother, or you imitate your mother. So your grandfather, you imitate. We all learn the most of the things through imitation. The way we walk, the way we talk. So sometimes once you become an adolescent, you might follow your hero or your singer, anybody, any personality. Some of us are influenced by Ambedkar, Vivekananda, great leaders. In common parlance, we are also influenced by movie heroes or singers like Michael Jackson, like that. So most of the values, where do we learn these values from? We learn these values from parents, either elder siblings like elder brother, elder sister, or relatives, aunt. We learn these values from the family first, and then the near and dear. Okay, when we start going to school, we will learn these values from teachers as well. We will all might have a favorite teacher, right? So we like the qualities of those teachers. We learn those values from the teachers. And next, when you go to colleges, you learn the values from education institutions, and then you learn from the society as well. Some people might not even go to school, but they have a value system. Where do they learn their values from? They learn their values from society. Okay. What are the most important values? Most important human values? Can you think of some? Honesty, truthfulness, happiness, peace, justice, all these things. Apart from this, children acquire certain values like self-knowledge, self-confidence, self-satisfaction, self-worth, self-sacrifice from their parents and elders. So, till now we have discussed how human beings learn any values. We learn values through imitations and what are the most important values, and we learn most of the values from family, friends, educational institutions and societies. Right. Okay. Now, so the next challenge is how will you cultivate the right values in a child? What are the methods? One is through inspiration, appreciation, love, all these things. Let us look at them one by one. So if you want to teach a child a value, you have to inspire them. How? By acting as a role model. If the parents behave nicely, the children will definitely behave nicely. So we need to inspire them. If parents do not lie, children mostly do not lie. They will not be into fighting. So children learn through observation. So parents have to act as a role model. Next is by appreciation. Let us say you got good marks in your school, or you are good at martial arts, or you're good at singing. Your father or mother appreciates you in your childhood. When you become an adult, you will tend to be a master of that particular skill. So what happens when you appreciate somebody? You are appreciating the positive quality in them. So once you appreciate the positive quality in them, they will develop a positive self-image. So that is the benefit of appreciation. Through appreciation, you can learn values. If somebody is honest, if the parents appreciate the child, and throughout his life there is a possibility that he will not lie or he will be honest. The same value comes to discipline. If a child is disciplined, follows time schedule, reads well, plays well, sings well, participates in extracurricular activities, if he is appreciated, he will repeat the same activity. Okay, classical example is, this is a real life example of Thomas Alva Edison. Who invented bulb? Thomas Edison, right? Okay, the story of Thomas Alva Edison is related to appreciation. What happened was, Thomas Alva Edison was born as a he was not fully equipped. He's an adult child or mentally ill. So one day his teacher wrote a letter to his mother and then sent him and told this Alva Edison that from tomorrow onwards there is no need for you to come to school. So Alva Edison went home, gave the letter to his mother. His mother opened the letter and she read the letter to his son that the teacher wrote. It was as if what was read by his mother. In the letter, the teacher wrote that his son is a genius. Thomas Alva Edison is a genius. So there is no proper teacher to train him in the school. So the teacher was requesting the mother to homeschool him. So after this event, Alva Edison became a genius. He won Nobel Prize. He invented bulb. He invented almost so many things in his life. So at the end of his life, he was in his home, and then he was sorting his house. He was looking through the old things. Then he found this letter. So he picked this letter, opened it. Then he read the true content written in this letter, and it wrote, Thomas Alva Edison was a mentally ill child. The school cannot teach him because he cannot follow with other students. But what did the mother do? She told his son that he is a genius and she appreciated him, and he became a great inventor of the humankind. So through appreciation, this is a classical example of appreciation. Appreciation by parents will transform the ordinary child into an extraordinary personality. This is the example. So whenever you're writing about appreciation or you're talking about appreciation, remember Thomas Alva Edison's story. Right. Then what is the other method you can teach or inculcate values in children? Through punishment. Yes, sometimes if children do something wrong, it has to be punished. Why? Because children should know the difference between the right and wrong. And in a young age, it is very easy to mold a child. Like you can prune the tree when it's a sapling, you cannot prune it when it's a tree. Similarly, human beings, as a child, it is easy to learn values, then you become an adult. What happens when you become an adult? The particular ideas, ideologies, or particular principles get frozen in your mind. It is very difficult to change the fundamental values when you become an adult. But it is easy to mold when the same person is a child. And then most importantly, a mother is the first teacher of a child to teach human values. So mother, most of the cases mother. So if she inculcates the right values in the children, then definitely the children will learn right values. For example, if parents pamper the child and ignore or forgive the errors of the child in the society, of the child, tomorrow he might become a thief or a culprit or a bad element in society. Then the society will not be generous like parents. Maybe his son, if parents don't correct the child in an young age, when he becomes an adult, he might be punished by the government, by the police, by the society. So it is very important to punish the child if they are doing something wrong. Punishment does not mean a physical punishment, it could be any form. It is a method of telling the child that what he has done is wrong. Classical example is, there is a story in Aesop fables, it's a stories, a thief and his mother. A thief is caught. He is known for his dacoitry. He was caught and the king has ordered to hang him. So as a last death wish, the thief asked the king that he wants to see his mother. So then they'll bring the mother. So once his mother comes, he'll say to her that, come close to me, I want to whisper in your ear. So once the mother keeps the ear near his son, he chews her ear, he bites it off. And everybody in the court and the king, they become angry, they shout at him, why are you chewing your mother's ear at this point of time when you're going to be hanged? He said that it is because of her I became this. When I was a child, she did not punish me for the things which I stole. Had she reprimanded me, had she warned me, had she punished me, I would have not become this thief today. This is a story. So you can write your real life examples as well. So the method is, first one is how will you inculcate values in a child? One is children learn through imitation. And next is appreciation. And third is punishment. Fourth, through love. What is love? Love is a powerful tool to inculcate the right values in human beings. So let us read a quote. It is given by Victor Hugo. You can see Victor Hugo here. He is a French poet, novelist and a dramatist. He said, the greatest happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, or rather loved in spite of ourselves. It is a very deep quotation. So let me repeat it. Let me make it simple. The greatest happiness of life is the conviction. That is, the greatest happiness of life is the belief that you are loved. So if you know that, if you have belief that you are loved by a mother, father or your partner, so this is the greatest happiness. And loved for ourselves, or rather loved in spite of ourselves. That means if somebody, your mother, father or sister or brother or a partner loves you because you are yourself, or loves you in spite of you having some flaws. So this kind of belief that when somebody loves you as you are, in spite of your flaws, that is the greatest happiness. Okay, right. So when parents love children, they create a strong bond. A strong bond is created between you and your parents, right? Your mother will do anything for you, or your father will do anything for you. So you have belief in your family. So there is a strong bond because of love. In some families, people between parents, there is no strong bond because the parents do not express their love. They do not show their love to the children. So strong bond is not created. Whereas in a family where parents love their children, very strong bond is created. Right. So love does not mean excessive pampering. Okay. Through the love, parents can teach good values. Right. Next is through understanding. The parents must understand the child's wish. Right? Parenting focuses, parents forcing their will on children does not help. They should understand. For example, you want to become an actor or some scientist, but your parents force you to become a doctor or an engineer, so there will be a conflict. This does not work for long. So parents must try to understand their children as they are and allow them to grow. If parents act like friends, they can easily cultivate the right values in children. So there is a story, this is a poem written by Khalil Gibran. He is a Lebanese poet. Some of you might read some of his poems. He wrote a poem on children. So your children, I'll read the poem for you. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. That means your children are not your children. They have their own life. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Your children might be with you, they might not belong to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. So parents might give their children their love, but cannot give them their thoughts. They cannot force their thoughts. Because they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. The fundamental meaning is parents have to understand the children because they may house their bodies, but not their souls. Because parents live today, are living in the present, whereas the children will be living in the future. Right. Okay. Next method is how can you inculcate values? Through support. Parents often take care of the children until they are adults, and parents take care of the children till they are financially and emotionally independent. For in the weak times, if a parents try to understand and stand for the children in the weak times, the child will flourish. Whereas the parents who do not stand by the children in the weak times, fundamentally there will be no love in the family, there will be trust will be broken, and the relationship will be very sore. Whenever a parent stands by the children in the good and bad times, the bond becomes very strong, and the child will easily follow the advice of the teachings of parents. So, if the parent supports the child in his weak times, there is possibility that the children will follow the advice of the parents. Okay, let's look at the mains based question. Discuss the role of family in inculcating values in a person. How will you write? The standard format is introduction, body, and a conclusion. In the body, give more examples of good parenting and bad parenting, theories, any relevant theories, examples, diagrams, relevant current affairs, and finally conclude on a positive note. In the introduction, you write about the values, certain values. You start with honesty, truth, integrity, empathy, sympathy, and then come to the body, give examples. Finally, come to the try to draw a diagram, and finally conclude. Let us look at a sample conclusion here. Though there are other factors like peer groups, educational institutions, and society at large, which later influence the value system of a person, it is the family which lays down a strong foundation of value system of an individual. What we are saying here in the conclusion, we are saying people learn values from peer groups, friends, family, educational institutions, society at large in later part of life. But family lays a strong foundation of value system of the individual in the early phase of his life. Right. With this, we'll end this lecture. Thank you for listening, and let us meet in the coming classes. If any of you is interested, they can write the answers to these questions and mail us to beiasacademy@gmail.com.